Welcome to our brand marketing and listing discovery training today. I'm Jamie. I'm with the customer success team, and I'm going to be helping you out. So right now, we are in that handy dandy's listing tab. If you go to that bar at the very top, boom, we're hitting those listings, okay? On the left side bar, you should see your individual listings right here. It automatically defaults to that. Then you see your team listings and then your all listings. Okay? Under team listings, if you are not seeing your listings there as you're getting started, you might want to do 99% of the time, go to your settings, check your profile, make sure that MLS agent ID is correct in there. Okay, if it's not there, it is not going to probably show correctly, or you might be missing some things. Okay? So go ahead and be sure to check that. And again, your individual listings, your team listings, and all of your listings are right. Okay. Then you look at your hot sheets. Okay. So we'll talk about that in just a second. You can see any saved hot sheets right over there. Now, if you go through, okay, and you can look up, different locations via zip code, address, MLS number. You can find all that right in here. You can turn on your closed listings if you want to. You can exclude certain locations in your search as you're going through. Switch to all listings real quick, just for the sake of this demo. Okay. I'm not sure if you saw that. There's a little bit of a difference that closed listings turns off when you go to your all listings section. Okay. You can search by time frame, by excluding location, by price point, okay, and by bedrooms. So let's say I want to find, 800,000 or above, 4 bedrooms. Boom, here is my last available listing. Okay, you can view any filters that you have active here, and you can add some more. So maybe you want to, just for the sake of this demo, let's change this. Okay, and you can add other things in here, like the listing status, do they have a fireplace or parking garage, pools, things like that. And you can go ahead and add those and then set to apply. If you want, you can also reset that filter altogether, bring all your listings back up, okay? You also have this clear all. So, if you see this little save button, we're going to save this sheet. So if this is like a set of filters that you feel like you're going to be using a lot, maybe 800,000 and above, that makes it luxury, or if you're going to be doing, like land and ranches, things like that, commercial, you can save some of those as a hot sheet. And then you just save, and I can see anything on my hot sheet, or can pick, any of these other demo sheets as well. You're feeling like, hey, I made a mistake, or I don't really like this, you can go into that cogwheel, and I'll show you one more time. You just go to this little cogwheel, okay? Go in here, and you can either edit it and edit the name, or you can delete it altogether. You can see some of your listings, and you can pick out a few of them here. You can also see if you have any your MLS approval status right up here as well. You can take some of these leads, just as I checked this box right over here, and then go and send those leads out to, specific people, okay, via email or via text. And you can send 200 at a time. You can also create a property tour. So let's say you have somebody you feel that would be interested in those specific listings, right? Okay, we can label this as our test tour, or find our lead that it's assigned to, select the meeting location. So I'm just going to put the first location. All right. So at 8 a.m., we're going to meet at this location, right? And then you're gonna be there for 30 minutes, okay? And then you're gonna drive to your second location. Now, I accidentally picked one in Arizona and one in California. That wouldn't be realistic, but it will give you like the drive time and your expected time to get there, okay? And then you can see your next location and how long it will take you to get there. You can add more listings if you want to. And when you're done, you can save the tour and email it and text it to your client, okay? Then you can view it here or email it here, okay? Then copy that link right over here if you want to. And then after you do your tour, you can always, the client can leave you notes about each location and you can view those afterwards. So this is our listing tab. Now I'm going to show you smart listings. If you go to your individual listings, right? And you can see all of your available listings that you are selling, okay? And this is what we call the smart view. So you can get a basic overview, who has viewed these listings, who has, engaged with them, who's requesting a tour. You can see any leads that may have not engaged with them, but might be the best match for that location. You can see that there. You can create ads. You can create a listing video provided that you have 6 pictures. Now, you will need at least 6 pictures to make that work. You can create a social studio post. Utilize the design center to create like a flyer. You can create a promotional landing page, an open house form, text code, or a buyer compensation. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and manage this listing right in here. As you can see, there's different stages to this pipeline. So if I were just seeing this as coming soon, Lofty's AI will review what you have and haven't completed for this specific listing and give you recommendations. So it's advising that you create ads, create a text code, or any of these other steps. And as you go through just listed, you can see that now it's telling you to do all those same things, but it's also telling you to create a just listed flyer as well as a seller report, right? And as you go through each step, it's going to give you different advice. So you can always create promotional ads under Social Studio. You can come in here and we are going to talk about Social Studio in a little bit, but provided that you've connected all of your accounts, you can, create a post for this listing, all of your social media at the same time. Under the Design Center, you can create a design by adding that individual picture. You can set that picture. It does want a few more pictures for this listing video. Let me see. You will need at least 6, and then you can create that listing video and post that anywhere you want to. By default, anytime you have a new listing, a landing page should be created. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. You can come in here and see who's viewed it, any traffic, and any new leads that were converted with your landing page. You can come in and edit it. You can send it out via text or email to various leads, 200 at a time. You get, again, post it to social media or delete that landing page altogether. If you don't have your own website, actually, we will get to that. You can see any showings. If you want to create a showing, you can do that here. Okay, and here you would say if the listing agent is accompanied or the property is occupied, set your appointment with an allotted amount of time that a person could set that for. So basically, if the lead wants to use your link to allow or to create a showing for this, you would have at least minimum 2 hours notice. Now you can change that to 48 hours or 24 hours notice if you want to, but right by default it's set to 2 hours. Okay. Maximum showing duration, you can set it to 15 minutes, half hour, 60 minutes. Okay. And you can have restricted time frames. So perhaps maybe you only want your showing to, be from, you'll only do showings from 9 a.m. to, 1:30, and then maybe you give yourself a lunch break. You say from 2:30 to 4 p.m., right? Then somebody can only schedule within that. And you can do that for any of those days. You can set any sort of one-off restrictions for time frames is there. You can also say, hey, there's a key, there's a door code or a lockbox that will contain the key for you to get in, any sort of access notes, and whether or not there's an alarm, where that alarm is, and how to disarm that alarm. Alrighty, you can add a open house right over here. I'm going to show you those open house forms in just a second, but you can actually add one. There's already one associated with this listing, and you can view it. There's a QR code, so anybody that sees this QR code, they can then go ahead and scan it when they're at your showing. Your text code is here, provided that you have your own text account, and a seller report. So you can go ahead and show this seller report to your sellers and let them know what you're doing to help make things happen for them. Okay? And if we went over to that account, engagement, seller report, we did a new report. Next, you can preview that report. Hit that next button. You can send it out daily, every 3 days, or weekly, and then save. And it will send out an updated report to that seller about what you are doing for them. You can see the stats of this listing, like who's viewed it, how many engaged leads do you have, and click on it and you'll see those engaged leads. And then anybody who's requested a showing. You can see anybody who might be considered a top buyer, any offers that were made, and all of the listing activities. Any activity associated with that listing is right over here. You can also go up to this actions button, send this to various leads here. This is a manual listing. If you have a manual listing, you can edit that manual listing or delete manual listing. And then you can also edit your buyer's compensation. If you edit your buyer's compensation, I know the new NAR ruling has affected things, so we added this feature, and this will appear on the landing page. And once it's sold, it automatically disappears. Alrighty. I'm going to show you all the really fun stuff right now in the marketing tab. Okay, right up here, right next to that listings tab we were just in. We're going to go to that left sidebar. We're going to scroll down. We're going to go to tools. And I had mentioned the social studio earlier. This is such a fun feature, and who doesn't love marketing? Content is king in this industry, right? So first things first, what you're going to want to do is go to your settings, go up to manage profiles, and add your profiles. Great. Okay, then you can come in here and you can create a post or see any scheduled posts to come. Okay, you can scroll down and see that Lofty's AI is suggesting posts right over here as well. You can create one here, and you can do your listing. You can do it for a specific listing. You can post for a specific blog, a landing page, where you can create a completely customizable post right in here and connect it to all of your social media accounts at the same time. Super huge. You can go here to edit, and then maybe you want to schedule this for next week. Let's say 9 a.m. and then set to apply, and it will schedule that post for you. I am now going to take you to the design center. Okay, and this is where you can create designs for yourself. You can create business cards, letters, social media posts, flyers, postcards. If you can see this little button here, you can show all the, topics by default. This will change at the top. Depending on the time of year, you'll see a lot of different holidays here. So our next upcoming holiday is Labor Day. So we have a lot of Labor Day ones. And you can go and preview it. How it's going to look when you send it out to people. You can come in here and also edit. You can add any sort of text, pictures, various properties, any sort of shapes or elements. You can add a text code if you have one. And then you can change that color if you want to. You can add that text code. And if you want, you can add a QR code. Okay. You can add any sort of icons or logos as well. If you made a mistake, you hit that undo button. You can do the redo button, preview it to see what it's going to look like. You can go to checkout, or you can go to those 3 little dots there. You can email it, send it as a text message, download it, create a Social Studio post, embed code into it, or save it as a folder. Under My Designs, you can go ahead and create as many folders as you need to. You can create a new folder, and you get a private folder, or something that you share with your whole team. Okay. If you're not liking the name of that folder, you can always edit it or delete it. Under your brand kit, you can come here, add your company information, phone number, email, website, address, and your bio. You can also add your logos here. If you want to create a new design from scratch, on all of the pages you'll see this, create a new design, and you can come in here and create something completely from scratch. You can also upload designs there as well. I'm gonna take you to our landing pages. I love these. If you have a website, like an agent website, you have unlimited landing pages. If you have a subdomain, you have 10 at a time. So one thing to pay attention to is under settings, this will be turned on by default. It will automatically create a listing landing page for any new listings that you are selling or you are helping to sell. And so every so often, because you have a 10 landing page limit, if you only have a subdomain, you're going to want to delete any landing pages associated with something that you sold previously. Okay. Now, you can see right over here, it's suggesting different types of landing pages. If you already know what you want to create or don't want to see that, you can just click that blue button, Recommendations, and you can hide it or see it whenever you want to. Okay. You can go and see the page name, the lead source, where that landing page, anybody that registers with that landing page, they will have a source that will be associated with their profile. So you can change that. And page template that you may have used, the creator, you can see your action. So if you want to edit it, copy it, send it to others, add it to a Social Studio post, or delete it. Okay? You can see how many views it got, how many traffic, and how many leads were converted with that page and the time frame. Okay? So if you want to add a new landing page here, it'll give you different topics. So listing, for sellers, for buyers, and based on activity. On a side note, for the seller guide and the buyer guide, you're definitely going to want to go in there. Let's say we do that buyer guide. Okay? What you're going to want to do, we're going to go to edit this block, that's what it is. Edit this block, left sidebar. And you're going to want to review this or upload a new one. Can't stress this enough. You definitely want to, review it before you send it out to people. So it might be advisable to create your own and then upload it here and add it to that. And the same thing would go for the seller guide. You would find it in the exact same place. Okay, I am going to show you how to create one completely from scratch though. So build your own. Right here, we're going to select that template. Okay, and so it'll give you a landing page that you can send out to people completely from scratch. And go to this little block button right over here. And you can add basically anything you want. Very customizable. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a calculator, because buyers often need that, right? Then we're going to do a calendar. Then we are going to add maybe some featured areas. You can just drag and drop any of these, blocks that you want to. More about these blocks is explained in the website training, but you can kind of come in here and add whatever you feel is necessary. Some reviews, and we're done building our page. So we just go to our settings, okay? You can give this a different page name, and it will default to that URL. You can change the page style to include a header, footer, or not include them. The source, as I had mentioned before, where does that lead come from? You can say, give it a different source. The lead buyer type. How to register. So there's a pop-up registration trigger rule. You can set that rule here. Either never require that registration based on views or based on browsing time. I will say if you do it by browsing time, let's say you have a listing on this landing page and somebody wants to request showing, you're gonna want to allow somebody to have enough time to type, right? I recommend if you do it based on time, you're probably gonna want to set this to about 90 seconds at least. If you're a slow typer on a phone, you can take 60 seconds just to type, and you want to leave them some time to review the page, right? So 90 seconds or more. About 90 seconds to 2.5 minutes is a good idea. If you're doing it based on time, you can do it based on views. So we set this to 2. The first time they did the view, they don't have to register, but the second time they do it, they do, right? And then you can allow them to close that pop-up registration trigger rule by yes or not by no. And you can allow third-party registration by Facebook or Google. You can adjust your lead settings. You can either directly assign it to a specific agent or via lead routing rules. Typically, as agents, it'll probably just be assigned to you. You can select the agent there if you're creating this for someone else. You can add a tag and a note that'll automatically appear in that lead's profile. And you can choose to send a welcome email or a welcome text. You can also edit your search engine, your search engine optimization, meta page titles, the description. You can add any sort of keywords. You're going to want to add an SNS cover photo. That's how it'll appear on social media and on the internet. Like during a search, like Google, Bing, so on and so forth. You can adjust the style via the theme and colors. The font, we have about 28 different fonts with subtypes. If you want to upload a font, you will need a TTF Wolf or Wolf2 file. And then you can test your keywords here. You can see your desktop view or your mobile view over here. Okay, so you can see the mobile view right over here. You can undo or redo any edits. You can preview it, and then go back to edit. You can view it exactly as a landing page, how it would view to or appear to anywhere else. And then you can automatically, create a Social Studio post or add a QR code. Don't forget to hit that publish button when you are done publishing or when you're done editing. edits will not be saved. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to take you right on over to our CMA tool. Okay, you can completely create one from scratch. Lofty's AI will recommend making one here if for various listings. Here, you can see all of your previous ones that you made down below. You can also see different templates as well. Okay, we can come in, and so you can see that this has specific neighborhood. You can do it by readings, or you can draw it as a specific shape. Okay, so we're going to put all of their information in here, preferably a featured image as well. We're going to go to CMA, and we are going to create one, and we're going to go make it based off one of our listings. We're going to create that port name. If you want, you can view any that you've created. This is what it should look like. Okay, you can see the mission, the values, so on and so forth. And you should be able to see all the listings and be able to send that out to that person. Okay, you should be able to see anything that is linked here, and you can actually, click on it, touch it, look at those listings, hold it, delete again. Okay, and they can also see a comparative analysis here. Okay, and they can see those property averages right over here. And then the average price per square foot, and so on and so forth. I'm going to take you to our open house forms. Still under the tools section. Okay, so any previous open houses you can see right over here. You want to add a new open house, come up here, pick your location, select which questionnaire you want. There's always a default questionnaire that you can use, but it will show all the questionnaires that you've created, which we're going to talk about in just a second. Okay, then you can share it with certain people or no one at all. And again, anyone you share it with, they cannot edit your open house, they can only view it. Okay, you can choose to send a welcome email and a welcome text to all of your leads. Okay, and we've created one. I'm going to take you back to the marketing tab though. We're going to go to open house forms, and we're going to look at the questionnaires. So again, everyone has a default questionnaire. You can create your own. Go ahead and create one, but add new. And then you can add the name, add various questions such as the name, the email, and the phone number. So we're going to add the same question 2 different ways so you can see how they look. You have plain text questions, and then you have multiple choice questions. Okay. For example, are you just looking? And then that person has to then, when they go to that question, type it in. And you can make this optional by clicking that button, or required by unclicking it. And you can add a third choice if you want to, so maybe yes, no, unsure. You can allow for multiple answers too. Okay, if you ever want to adjust the order, just drag and drop it, or you can delete that question. Then you would just save. Under text code. You can see the text code that's created here. You can add one if you want to. Say we pick this location, we add a text code, and create that text code here. So I need to have a text code. This message will be automatically generated, and it will go to that lead, and that person, that lead that comes in, will receive this message to look at that property. And then that lead will be associated with the person who created the text code. You will need a independent text plan. You do receive 200 text messages per day per seat, but it will not cover text codes specifically. So you would need to upgrade. If you want to upgrade, you can go to your settings and upgrade under call and text, under the call text settings. And then you can go ahead and manage that license over there and add whatever you would want to add. Alrighty, well,
Have a great day.